with an insightful presentation by Katya Sabirova, Head of Communications of Values Value.
I have only 20 minutes, but and I will not waste my time and your time. But before I starting to show some graphs that will prove and show again that gender pay gap still exists and still persists, I would like to reflect with you for a moment, okay? Recently, one friend of mine told me that she finds the idea of women gathering together and she finds the idea of women gathering together and discussing some things related to the industries weird. Because after all, there are not such events for men. Yes, indeed, there are not such events for men, but, and maybe even several years ago, I might have agreed with her. But nowadays, I have a clear understanding why such events should exist. And if you don't mind, I will share my perspective. First of all, I don't believe that such events exist only exclusively for women, because the purpose of these events is to make the industry we work in more diverse. And this summer, I have attended several meetups, Women in Games meetups during the Gamescom conference in Germany. It's the largest game dev conference in Europe. And I saw people, they were so different. The audience was so diverse. And it's cool. And I think that, for me personal, such events, such meetups provide the convenient platform for discussion. During this discussion, we can make the issue of under-representation and under-valuation of women and non-male gender employees more visible. And it's good. It's good. When we don't talk about it, nothing can change. And I forgot my thought. Yeah, that's why we need to gather together, and we are not only one in the world who think about it. For example, this year, the Nobel Prize in Economics was awarded to Claudia Goldin from Harvard, and she researches the role of women in economy. So her work can help to understand the evaluation of gender differences in the labor market. And for me personally, the main idea of her work is that motherhood indeed affects the gender pay gap in all fields, not only in tech fields. I work in the recruitment agency, Values Value, that focuses on games. That's why we have a lot of data about games. And today I will share some data with you. And I think that the last point about all of this in my introduction, that these events can give us some validation of our situation, because it's very cool to understand, seeing the statistical data, that this issue is not only your case, individual case, not the case of your self-esteem. No, it exists everywhere. It's a common problem. That's why we can change something. And we can move on. Yes, brief explanation of our survey. The survey is called Big Games Industry Employment Survey that my team conducted this year. So the data is very fresh. We have gathered more than 1,500 responses from specialists in the games industry all across the world, but you see that the most presented region was Europe. So we can move further. Yes, and we decided to analyze only Europe, and we have divided Europe into two regions. The first one, European Union plus the UK, and the second group is non-EU countries. So all our findings based on this data. Please, next. Yes, you can see from this slide that there are only 23% female employees in the games industry in Europe. And I can say that this picture is pretty close to the general picture of the global games industry. We compared our numbers with the numbers of some American researchers also. And I can add a small detail, very interesting detail, I think, that, for example, in Ukraine, this percentage of female employees are bigger, around 30%. So Ukraine is more diverse here. It's nice. What about age? We are still very young industry, but from year to year, we are getting more mature. But now the average age of the specialists in the games industry is around 30 years. So next slide. Yes, here on this slide you can see the annual gross median salaries of women and men. So we didn't have goal to show some salaries in details. We just wanted to show you a trend. And here we see that the gender pay gap exists. Next slide will show you, we'll zoom out a little. So here we can see salaries of male and female employees by the seniority levels. And the main conclusion that I have made that the gender pay gap becomes more pronounced as professionals advanced their careers. So on the position of senior level, especially on top level management, C-level positions, the women earn 20–30% less than men. And I think at this stage of the career development, people often decide to become parents. So maybe it is the reason. So next slide, please. And here we see not current salaries, but desired salaries. And again, ladies want to earn less. So yes, they earn less, but moreover, they want to earn less. And also, I found out that on the expert top C-level positions, women want to earn, they state desired salaries even less, even lower than actual current salaries of men. So if we return to the previous slide, we can see the current salaries of men, 66,000 per year. And the next slide, yes, only 60K women want, So next slide. So all of this has some consequences, yes? I will briefly explain what ENPS means. It's Employee Net Promoter Score. It's a special index that shows the level of engagement, the level of loyalty of employees to their employers. And you see, female looks not so engaged, not so loyal to their employers. And I think that the reason is the thing that I mentioned above, because they in all this dancing routine, working full time, being mom at the same time, feeling guilty, we might ask for lower salaries from our employers. We underestimate ourselves, and what it can lead to this situation. No, please, yes, stay here. So we underestimate ourselves. We state the lower desired salaries. We earn less, and then we are not so satisfied like our male teammates. Yeah. So next slide. Yes, this slide just prove my words again that the gender pay gap exists in every type of companies in the games industry. Especially look at outsourcing company, the gap there is significant. Yeah. And I think that it would be the last slide. Yeah, it's situation in Cyprus. We didn't have enough sample to make some detailed conclusions, but we can show the picture in general. So the annual median gross salary by by male and female, and the trend, the global trend, is also here. So the same picture. So what can we do with all of this? First of all, we need to start with the first step. We underestimate ourselves, so we need to do something here. Then we need to learn how to ask for more money, if to roughly speaking, yeah. And this field can be very helpful. So I want my colleague to continue my speech. Yes.